Hey guys, Sauniche here with a Heroes of the Storm video on the Haunted Mines. This one's going to be showing off a bit of how those siege giants can really help out a team, especially in the early game. So on my team, we have SAT Steve playing Tyrael, Barthimus playing Raynor, Thorok as Arthas, Cribstab as Nova, myself as Tassadar, and the enemy team has Uther, Arthas, Muradin, Tyrande, and Raynor. So they have quite a bit of healing on their team between Uther and Tyrande. Not that much damage. Arthas and Muradin are really hard to kill, but they don't deal that much. We'll have to be careful for the Hyperion from Raynor, but other than that, we should be pretty good. One thing to keep in mind is that my team does not actually have any healers per se. We do have Tassadar, who can shield people, and we have Raynor, who has a self-heal, and we have Tyrael, who can also shield people. So aside from those, we don't really have any healers. So it looks like Steve has the sick, awesome demonic Tyrael skin, and then there Uther does have the tint where it makes him lighter. So we are fighting a 2-on-3 up here at the top, which is giving us quite an advantage, letting us push this lane quite well. Steve is saying he'll roam, so we'll have Tyrael going down to the bottom to help out. Raynor's going to hide in the bush here. And I'm going to wait for the creep wave to come up. So it looks like Tyrael's going to crash on the bottom lane to help them out, help out Nova. And I forget who's down there. So it looks like Arthas is going to, Raynor is going to throw Arthas back. And we end up picking up. Ooh, okay, so we did an even trade there. We did end up getting first blood by taking down Raynor. But then Steve ended up dying. So looks like Barthimus left. Oh, there he's back. Okay, so he's only gone for a couple of seconds. Most likely he alt-tabbed out. For some reason, that's one of the problems that we have in the alpha server, is when you alt-tab, it gives you a notification that you're out of the game. And then when you come back in, when you alt-tab back in, it picks you back up. So Arthas and Uther are actually being pretty aggressive. It's a really good combination. Arthas will throw out his root, which is his little freezing ability. And then Uther will throw out his AoE shot that does damage in a line. So right now, Tyrael and Raynor are going for the mercenary camp. I'm going to stay in lane and get as much experience as possible for our team. That way we don't fall behind, because we are currently a little bit behind. It's not too bad. Looks like Arthas picked up the poison enemy trait. So you can see there, my health bar did turn yellow, indicating that I was poisoned. I think I'm trying to warn my team here. The mine is going to open in 25 seconds. And the timing on these giants was mostly to give our team space to be able to go into the mines and keep the other team out. Keep the other team back. Because at this point we're creating a lot of room for us to be able to move into this mine up top. The enemy team is forced to stay back here, and they're forced to fight the giants or risk being just completely overrun. So Steve is, looks like Steve Tyrael there is getting a little bit low. So we got Varicose and Josh B as Arthas and Uther respectively, trying to defend this middle. So rather than go after the skulls, I am going to stay here and help out the giants. A lot of times what people will do is they'll get the giants, they'll take the mercenary camp, but then they don't give the giants any support. They don't really give them any help, and they just die. So at this point, if you can keep 1 or 2 heroes in the push with the giants, you can do a ridiculous amount of damage to the enemy. Especially if you can keep them off of the giants. So it looks like we have Uther and Arthas are both fairly low. Looks like my team picked up the knights for us, So that's going to be a huge advantage to push this top lane with. So down below, looks like we have Arthas, Nova, Tyrael, my whole team actually. Rainer's down there as well. So because I'm pushing this so hard, I've actually created a 4-on-3 advantage for my team in the mines. And they just took down Muradin, so now it's a 4-on-2 advantage. And we managed to take out the fort at top. So that has pushed our lead. We used to be a little bit behind in levels, but we've pushed our advantage out to an 8-7 lead at this point. Looks like they're going to be uber aggressive since Arthas commands ghosts, but since Uther is a ghost and can't really be killed, they're going to be extremely aggressive. Looks like Muradin has respawned and come back top to help me out, or to help push me back. But at this point, these giants have been more than worth it. They have completely secured. We secured a fort kill, and we have a 2-level lead on our opponents because of those giants. In addition to our golem being 12 skulls superior. There's actually an interesting point on this map that the giant, or the golem, the siege golems that the skulls summon, are how strong they are is not based solely on the amount of skulls you have collected, but it is also based on the amount of time that has passed. So, yeah, for example, a 50 skull golem at 5 minutes is stronger than a 50 skull golem at 3 minutes into the game. So they do get stronger as the game goes on. And because we were able to push so hard and delay
enemy has been slain.
the enemy golem, and delay the golems themselves are much stronger. So it looks like we have our ultimates, and my team is making a very, very good use of the ultimate advantage that we have currently up top, since we have taken out, I believe, okay, looks like we only took out Uther. I thought we did get someone else. I'm trying to hold off their giant, or the siege golem on bottom here, or the skull golem. I'm really hoping someone on my team comes down to help me. There's Nova, she's coming down, lets off her precision strike. It looks like we're gonna go for this. I put on my phase void shift to get into position, and then I blow these guys backwards using my ultimate. Basically turns Tassadar into the strongest character in the game. It's pretty ridiculous. So I do get hit by Tyrande with her sentinel, so they know exactly where I am, in addition to doing quite a bit of damage.
An enemy has been slain.
So it looks like their golem is almost down. Alright, their golem goes down. Muradin and Arthas did fall for the opposing team. And we are very close to taking out one of their keeps. We might... It's going to be pretty close. We do take out their inner keep. So our top lane is now spawning stronger minions. Tyrael went down. So there's only 4 of us up here to all 5 of the enemy team. Make that 4 of the enemy team as Tyrande dies. At this point, I don't really know if we should be here, because Tyrande will be back in 13 seconds. Oh, we do take out Rainer. Let's see. Uther sets off his Divine Storm, does quite a bit of damage and stuns everyone, but Nova's Precision Strike takes down most of the enemy team. So the only one who's still alive is Tyrande. Ooh, Rainer's so close to dead. Come on, Rainer, get out of there. He does summon his Banshees. So at this point, the enemy team has Tyrande and Rainer both alive, and the others are about to respawn pretty much right now. So we're going to back out because we're all either hurt or low on mana, or some combination of the two. So we're going to use the map control that we have gained to take down some of the mercenaries, and to continue putting a lot of pressure on our opponents. So I'm going to take down the giant camp here while my team works down the knights. So just once again, anybody who's a ranged character, you can do this with a melee character, but it's a lot more difficult. But you could sidestep the boulders after they're thrown, or really after the giants start their attack animation, they target the point on the ground and not your hero. So you can just dodge back and forth and really take no damage from the giants. So looks like we have the knights and both of our siege giant camps. So I'm going to push through the bottom again. So we're going to take the exact same strategy here for the second golem, where we create map control using the siege giants and mercenaries, and then we try and create a stronger golem while our opponents are on the defensive.
Double kill.
Looks like Arthas uses his poison enemy onto Rhonda. I'm going to try and slow her down, but I miss. She does throw down a Starfall. Pretty good Starfall. She did get a couple of volleys off on 3 of us, but in the end it didn't really delay much. And now we are knocking on her gate. The mines are open, but we're pushing so hard that we feel that there's not really much need to go get the giant, or to go get the golem, and that we should make these siege giants count for as much as possible by helping them out with their push. I don't know if you guys watched the last video with ETC. If you do, I recommend that one. It's a very good game. It happens to be quite long, but my team makes some... Okay, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched it. You've got about 5 seconds to go back and watch that one. Okay, close the video. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, close the video. Anybody who's still here, we do have... In that game, we ended up losing... because we lost a team fight in the late game, very close to our opponents, very close to our tower. Looks like and we could have won earlier in the game. We could have won much earlier in the game had we actually fought with the siege giants that we collected, and we could have destroyed the enemy palace. But because my team did not feel like pushing with the giants, we ended up losing. But at this point, you saw... we just saw Raynor and Uther really get really aggressive in chasing me across the map to secure 1 kill. And at this point, a kill gives about maybe 1,000 experience, a little over that, maybe 1,500. But they traded a kill for a fort because the siege giants were still there and they completely demolished the fort. So they did gain a kill and gained about... let's say at the high point they gained about 1,500 experience. That outer fort is worth 2,000. Not really a great trade on their part. So moral of the story is if you have defend your forts over trying to get kills. It will help you out much more in the long run. So it's like Uther goes down. Arthas is going to go down. Arthas does get off his Syndragosa before he dies. I'm going to move up and help. Looks like we have Tyrael and Raynor inside. So we have a 2v2 situation inside the mines, while Nova and I are dealing with Arthas and Murden up top. So, okay, kills give about... They probably got 1,000 experience for killing me on bottom, but they lost a fort, giving us 2,000. Now that I just saw that those guys gave us 800. So at this point, this golem should end the game. He's already at their palace, and he's going to be... He's at least an 80 skull golem. I don't think the enemy team can really do much. They are about to go into the mine up top. Nova and I are going to pick up some more siege giants and really push with the mercenaries and just make a play, or make a play to end the game here. So I'm going to pick up these siege giants. Going to go up top and pick up those siege giants. Nope. So the enemy team didn't get any skulls, so we have a 100 skull golem to a 0 skull golem. And this late in the game, this 100 skull golem is extremely powerful. And so we probably won't need these mercenaries. Whew, excuse me, I shouldn't have had that root beer float right before casting. That probably was a bad idea. But I love this game and I can't get enough of it, so I'm just going to cast anyway. So we've got Tassadar moving forward. Well, okay, sorry, I'm Tassadar. We have my team pushing forward while I collect some golems. So the Grave Golem is going up. So Rainer popped his ultimate to pull out the Raiders. And woo, man, that root beer float's coming back with a vengeance. So we do take the opposing Uther down. Enemy Palace is about 48%, 40% now. That Golem takes about, looks like Rainer's going down. But it's at 12, 10% now, 8%. Looks like Tyranda's going to get away. And one last swipe from the siege, or from the Skull Golem ends up taking out the enemy Palace.
Victory.
So I hope everyone enjoyed that game. I'm trying to be a little bit less just stating the obvious of what's going on and giving a little bit more information about why I'm doing what I'm doing. And hope you enjoyed that video, especially when you can see how powerful Siege Giants are if they're used in coordination with a push, and you defend them with your heroes. Because if you don't defend them and you just blindly send them at the enemy team, they're not going to accomplish much as long as the enemy team is defending. And they're really meant to be used in coordination with pushes. It doesn't have to be with your whole team, but they need somebody to kind of babysit them. And if you do that, they can be incredibly powerful. Well, I do suppose that if you, like I said, if you pick them up and just kind of send them on their way, the only thing you're really accomplishing is denying your opponent's use of the Giants. Personally, I think it's better to use them to kill stuff. And a bientôt.